Alrighty, I'm gonna wait here just a second. It says it's setting up our meeting. So, okay, I think we are live. We are. Okay, welcome to this free class here on learning about how to capitalize on the opportunity of coaching and working with the company Beachbody. My name is Jessica Lanier. If you do not know me, I've got a double screen on my end. Hold on one second. I want to make sure that there's no playback. Okay. Thank you for joining me this evening, whether you're catching it live or the recording. I really appreciate you being here. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet. And I'm going to dive right in. So when things change your life for the better, what is your natural instinct to do with that information or with that tool or with that resource? If you're like me, for most people, it is you want to share it. You are so grateful and you want to be able to share that gift with somebody else. Let's give an example. Amazing massage therapist that helped you get rid of your sciatic pain that you've been struggling with for forever. What do you do when you leave your treatment? You thank her and you go tell all of your friends, and anyone who has the same problem or similar problem that you did, you tell them, oh my gosh, you have to see this massage therapist. How many of you done that? I've done that so many times. I've done that with a chiropractor who's really helped with my chronic neck pain that I have. I've done that with babysitters. I've done that with restaurants. And these are things that don't necessarily, like maybe the health side, like things have changed my life, but like restaurants, we do that all the time. We just share with people, oh my gosh, you have to go try this restaurant. So that's what I'm doing here. I am not exaggerating when I tell you that this company, the opportunity, I don't honestly like using these words because I feel like they're so overused, but I don't know what other words to use to describe it. But the opportunity that I have stumbled into because of the company of Beachbody has completely changed the trajectory of my family's life. And those are really big words and humble words for me to say with my background, which I want to share just a little bit because I think it helps add a little bit to the credibility. A lot of people are very hesitant and skeptical of any kind of network marketing, let alone the name Beachbody doesn't usually help us go in our favor of sounding genuine. It sounds extremely superficial. And most people are like, why would I ever want to be affiliated with something that's the name? I will tell you it is an improvement because when the company started over 20 years ago, the first name was $1 Million Body. And so I'm thankful we're not that. I mean, that I don't even know. I don't know. So my background is in health and wellness. I got my nursing degree right out of high school. I went to nursing school. I got my bachelor's in nursing, paid way too much for a college education, and walked away with way too much in student loans. And I still felt like something was missing. Why did I go into nursing school? I have always been wired to help prevent preventable suffering. And that came from an instance in my childhood. Many of you may be able to relate to this. As we're kind of talking through this, I want you to ask yourself, what do you feel like you were wired to do? What do you feel fulfilled in? When you're doing this thing, you just feel so good or you feel so fulfilled. And can you trace that back to a time in your life, in your past, in your childhood, something either tragic or something positive that happened? Maybe it was the way that you were raised. Maybe, it could be a variety of scenarios, but for most of us as adults, there's something in our childhood that has wired our brain to want and need certain things and to feel good about living a certain way. So my wiring ended up being preventing preventable suffering and living to my absolute fullest. And that was because on my 11th birthday, my dad and I were hit by a drunk driver. Now, many of you who know me know this story, so forgive me, you're going to have to hear a little bit of it again. But we were hit by a drunk driver. We were on a motorcycle, and the drunk driver was in a truck. We were smashed between the motorcycle and the truck and catapulted off like 30 feet. We were both medi-flighted to separate trauma hospitals with severe injuries and not expected to make it through the night. I was in a coma for about a week and on life support, and I slowly started coming to. I required 5 surgeries to save my life and my left leg that was smashed between the motorcycle and the truck. And then a couple weeks later, I was transferred home onto a medical hospital bed that was in my mom's room. And it took me about a year to learn how to walk again. It was a very challenging experience, but the hardest part came a few weeks after our accident when my dad passed away, and we found out it was due to medical malpractice. And looking back as an adult, when I was working through my own mental stuff and processing why I'm so driven in certain areas, why I'm so passionate about injustice, why I want to work so hard to dream big and live as fully of a life as I can. As an adult, I connected it to this point in my life. I mean, obviously that's going to shift a lot of things in anyone's life, right? But I identified that my life forever changed because of 2 preventable things. Someone got behind the wheel under the influence of alcohol, which was completely preventable. And the second thing was medical malpractice. So my dad, when he was coming out of his coma, he pulled out his feeding tube. He was 6'7", a beast of a man. And when you come out of a coma, you're kind of agitated. Naturally, it just happens to pretty much everybody. And so as he was pulling at things, he pulled out his feeding tube. It was 4th of July weekend, and the nurse on call did not want to bother the doctor. And so she ended up grabbing a catheter tube and put it back into the hole of where his feeding tube was, connected it to the feeding, continued the feeding. It doesn't take a medical professional to recognize that that is not a good thing. And so it wasn't placed right in his stomach, and it ended up going randomly in his abdomen and caused an infection called peritonitis. As he was coming out of his coma, so he was, and hearing from other family members that were there, you could tell something was wrong. You could tell he was in pain, and they just continued to sedate him and tell my mother, who kept telling them something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong, that she just needed to calm down, and that's just him coming out of his coma. Until it was too late, when he became septic and he ended up passing away from that infection. And so at a young age, I saw that I had a choice. I could become a victim of my circumstances as someone who was unjustly hurt by life circumstances. I could become a victim to that and stay in that place of self-pity and all of the things and emotions that are natural to feel in that grieving process. But something shifted for me, and I'm so thankful. I couldn't have gotten through life, really. And I don't know how anyone does in these hard times without my walk with Jesus and my faith in God. And he really helped me shift my perspective. And I realized that I wanted to honor my dad with the life that I was given. And that moment where I had that shift was when I was the 11-year-old girl who had screws and rods sticking out of her leg. It was like, I'm going to be in the Olympics one day. I'm going to go play softball in the Olympics one day. And that drove me because I knew that I had breath. I had life, I had opportunity. I wanted to live that fully because my dad was 32 years old when he passed away, when this happened. Just so weird now that I'm older than my dad was when he passed away. And so that really shifted my goals. I wanted to be a doctor until my pediatrician talked me out of it. And so I went to nursing school instead. I played college softball in nursing school and then realized, holy smokes, I cannot do the both of those things. And I had a lot of health issues through nursing school. And that is what kind of shifted my direction on, I need to figure out what's wrong with me. My hormones were a mess. My digestive system was a mess. And no medical professional could figure out what was wrong with me. I had a brain tumor at 20 years old. I had the hormone levels of a 55-year-old woman at 19. That is what they told me. I didn't have my period for 7 years and they didn't know why. And so those kinds of questions and struggles is what guided me down the path of holistic health. After graduating nursing school, I became a certified holistic health coach. And more than anything, I just dove into research on Chinese medicine, herbology, homeopathy. I worked with several different alternative practitioners, and I learned how to heal my own body with the natural remedies. And it has become such a huge passion of mine. I started in 2005. You could do the math. It's been a long time. And I see so many people suffering now because they're missing the foundation. They're missing the foundation, and we're not teaching the foundation in traditional doctor's offices for the most part. And so I knew that I could help prevent preventable suffering by helping people address the foundational needs that we all have. When I stumbled into coaching with Beachbody, I said, no way does a company named Beachbody have the same kind of standards that I have. I see they have these protein shakes and I see they have these supplements and stuff, and their workouts look pretty cool, but there's no way that they're at the level of high standard that I have when it comes to sourcing of ingredients and fillers and all these things. However, I was at this point in my life, I was a new mom. I had a 3-month-old, my first son, my first child, and I was going back to work as a nurse in a prison. I worked in a prison for 4.5 years as both a level 2 yard nurse and a infectious disease nurse. Thank the Lord I'm not doing that right now, right? But my husband also worked at the same prison. He was on call 24/7 in narcotics and gang investigations. And as soon as I had my son, I remember Googling work from home nurse jobs, because while I never had the personality of wanting to ever work from home or be a stay-at-home mom, kudos to all of you who do that. I just didn't want to do that until I became a mom. And the moment I became a mom, I looked at my son and I held him. I was like, I never want to leave you. I don't ever want to miss a thing. And I will find a way. I will figure out a way. I have no idea what that looks like. Because at the time, my paycheck almost doubled my husband's, even though his job was way more dangerous than mine. In the state of California, being a correctional nurse paid more than being a correctional officer. And so I couldn't financially, I didn't have the option to stay home, and I didn't want to work in the hospital either for various reasons. And so I had to go back to work. But in this process, I found this random chick's before and after pictures after having a baby herself. And she had abs. And I was like, what? How, like, what is she doing? And I kind of followed her a little bit, and she was doing this program from home that was only 22 minutes. Well, I had no time to go to the gym. I had no time to go to CrossFit. That's what I had done before through my pregnancy. And I had also just been diagnosed with a moderate to severe degenerative disc in my low back that was debilitating pain. I could not lean over my son's crib to put him down. Was in way too much pain to do that. And the chiropractor had just told me, and doctor had just told me after x-rays, like, we can't do anything to regenerate your discs, Jessica. We're going to have to, like, I don't know if you can get pregnant again. It could be like, there could be a lot of complications. I'm just not sure. We can try physical therapy and adjustments. And in that moment, I was 29 years old. And I said, I do not degenerate. I am 29 years old. I will find a way. This is not okay. I cannot be in this kind of pain as a 29-year-old. And then this program came into my life, and I was like, okay, I could do 22 minutes from home while I'm working and getting held for 16-hour shifts in prison. I still can do 22 minutes. I can do that with my baby on the floor. And so I did. I reached out to this total stranger and I said, hey, so I know we don't know each other, but I want to do the program you're doing, and I want the coach discount, because I'd researched the company of Beachbody. I researched how to get discounts on everything. And I said, I wanted this coach discount thing, but I want nothing to do with the business side or coaching. I didn't understand it because I have no time. This is my situation. I work 40 to 60 hours a week in a prison with a newborn and a husband on call 24/7. And her response was, hello to you too. Nice to meet you. Okay, like, sure, I'll help you get started. So she got me signed up, and she had quickly said, hey, you have a coach account. So just so you know, if you have any friends or family members who want to do this program with you, they can join the group that I'm running, and you can refer them and get the credit for referring them. And it was kind of like a light bulb went off in my brain. I was like, duh, who wouldn't want to do this? It's 22 minutes. Look at the results that you just got. It was, I think, $150 for everything. Of course, people would want to do this. And so I reached out to my mom, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my best friend. I said, hey, check out this chick's results. I had just ordered my stuff, I said, check out this chick's results. Look how amazing it is. We're doing this program together. It's only 22 minutes. Who wants to get in shape with me after I just had a baby? And naturally, they all said yes. Well, I didn't tell them any options. I said, you're going to order what I ordered. It's $150. I need your credit card number, your social security number, your address, your phone number, all the important information. And for whatever reason, they didn't ask me questions and they just gave it to me. And so I signed these 4 people of my family up with coach accounts too, because I'm like, duh, you're getting the discount. And that was literally how I stumbled into coaching. I think I got paid $200 or something from the 4 of them joining. And then I was like, hold up. I didn't do anything but just get excited about getting healthy and finding a program and tell them to do it with me in someone else's group. What is this all about? And that was when I had my first call with my coach, who is now one of my closest friends. Her name's Elizabeth Hartkey. And she asked me a couple questions that really changed things for me. And I'll never forget it. I was sitting at my kitchen table, which is this kitchen table, just in North Idaho instead of California. And she had asked me, I want you to tell me, if you could have your dream life, what would that look like a year from now? No limitations. Like, money, time is not an object. 1 year from now, where would you like to be? And then 5 years from now, where would you like to be? Again, dream really big. Money and time are not an object in your decision here. What is your dream life? What does that look like? And I will be honest with you, I felt so dumb. No one had ever asked me that question, and I didn't know how to answer it, because at the time my life was comfortable. I literally had a white picket fence. I had 2 super cute lab dogs. I had a healthy, brand new baby boy. I had a great paying job. My husband had a great paying job. We were stable. We had benefits. We had our family around us, so I had nothing to complain about. But if I was to ask myself, really, like, what did God put me on this earth? Why did he save my life when I should have been taken younger? What does he want me to do on this planet? My answer would not be to work at a prison. I will tell you that. My answer would not be to struggle with finding daycare for my kids while I go work 40 to 60 hours a week somewhere else and I'm exhausted and not fully present with them. That would not be it. And so I talked to my husband about it. I'm like, okay, what would we have if we could do anything? And so we started writing things down. And I said, I would be able to run some sort of business from home. So I had flexibility to be with my kid and future kids, but I would be still financially providing as much as I am, if not more, as a registered nurse. But I'd be doing it in a different way. I'd be helping people with that preventative side of healthcare and education and helping them address the foundational needs like I learned myself, because at the time I was not sharing any of that because I didn't have any time because I was working so much in prison. And that was I was like, okay, if I could have anything, this is what I would have. And I shared that with her, and she said, you have no idea what you just stumbled onto. And I said, well, tell me then. and she did. And so she kind of mapped out the vision for me with what the business model looks like. Mind you, I had a health coaching practice before I was married, before kids. And it was so much work, I will say. I co-created programs where we charged $5,000 per program per person for the program. I created my own program called the Empowered Woman Program, which some of my clients that I still work with now with Beachbody came from then 10 years ago. And I loved them and they were great, but they were also so much work that I know now, being a mom of 3 little kids, I could not do that amount of work, and it did not pay enough to pay the bills. So I found this model where it's the best of entrepreneurship because you are your own boss. You have complete freedom in how you run your business and the hours that you work and how you market yourself. My business is called Health Patriot Coaching. So naturally, I share a lot about patriotism, and we live in North Idaho, and my husband's a veteran and was in law enforcement. We're huge in supporting our law enforcement and military families. That's just my branding. That's what our family's passionate about. But I have other coaches that I mentor that have a completely different brand. Someone could be very passionate about prenatal care, and their whole entire business with Beachbody is marketed towards prenatal care. Someone else may be really passionate about running marathons, or maybe a twin mom, or may love to travel, or may be really passionate about an animal shelter. The beautiful thing about this is you create marketing around what you were created to be passionate about, and what the dreams that you have that are unrelated to the business of Beachbody, if that makes sense. And then we partner with a company that's a $1.3 billion company in the health and fitness industry with 20 years of experience. And what they have done that I personally found value in is that they created a platform with the foundation, how I was wired to help people with the foundation. I see so many people going and getting B12 vitamins or vitamin D. Those things are great. But if you're eating cheeseburgers and you're sitting on watching Netflix all day, every day, the vitamin B12 is not going to solve all your problems, right? We have to address the foundation. And that is what this platform does. Whether you decide to use it for a business or you just use it for yourself, I would be doing this whether or not I was coaching with the company. I need to learn how to move my body in a time in my life where things are absolutely bananas crazy. I have 3 kids. We have 4 businesses in between my husband and I, and things are crazy, and it's a good crazy, and I'm thankful for it. But it would be very easy to neglect my personal health because of how crazy things are. So I jump on that bike over there, and I am able to do a workout in 20 to 30 minutes, or I can jump on there while I'm scrolling through the MLS of new listings for my real estate business. I can be active still because of the tools I have from the Beachbody company. As far as nutrition goes, there are hundreds of nutrition recipes that I can choose from. There are, we now have 2 longevity nutrition programs to choose from, as well as 3 cleanses. We just launched a gut health protocol, which is amazing, and really helping people learn how to understand how their body reacts to food, and identify the triggers of inflammation in their body. We've got nutrition covered, and it's not a diet. It's not anything that's eliminating food groups. None of them do that, which is amazing. Well, other than the 4-week gut protocol, which is temporary to identify those inflammation triggers. But we have some really powerful cleanses, powerful nutritional approaches that you can work into your everyday life. And then we have a very high quality supplement line, which I personally used to go buy supplements individually, separately, and spend significantly more money than I do now because of our quality and potency of ingredients that are in some of our supplements, such as Shakeology, which a lot of people have heard of, and a lot of people have written off as an overpriced protein powder. They don't know that the protein in it is only 1/5 or 20% of what is actually in the entire formula. You are getting super greens and antioxidants to help support your immune system and circulatory system. You are getting adaptogens to help support your endocrine system, which is stress support and hormonal health. And you have a complete digestive complex in there too, with digestive enzymes, probiotics and prebiotics, and fiber, essential fatty acids. So you're getting so much in one scoop. And that is why people feel so different when they drink it consistently. That is the kind of foundational approach that I'm talking about, that I would be doing no matter what. And remember in the beginning when I was telling you, what do you do when something really changes your life? You just tell people, oh my gosh, I'm not having to have 20 pills a day because I get it in a scoop now and it tastes like cookies and cream, or it tastes like chocolate, peanut butter shake. That's amazing. We made kale taste like chocolate. It's like a magic trick. Of course I want to shout it from the mountaintops. So that is just one of the supplements, right? We have, like I mentioned, amazing cleanse supplement supplements to support cleansing in the body. Oh my gosh. We have an all natural sports performance line. So pre-workout called Energize. All of our products, I will tell you this, I will make you this promise. With all the amazing things I love about our company and what we offer, if one of our products had an artificial sweetener in it, something as seemingly innocent as sucralose, I would have nothing to do with the company. And so as you're reading through your products that you're using and the added ingredients in there, or if you're looking at your pre-workout, you're looking at your protein, and there's any artificial sweeteners, artificial colors, hydrogenated oils, or artificial sweeteners, I don't know if I said that already. Anyways, if there's any of that, then you know the bottom line of that company is not true health, because those in my book are not, you do not use them. They're non-negotiables. They're known to have negative health effects. So why would you have them in a health promoting product, right? Our company does not use any of that. Our compliance and nutrition team know me real well at this point, 6 years in, because I have bugged the crap out of them a lot along the way. And I have challenged them like to do things differently with our marketing and ingredients and share about our sourcing, because we are so meticulous with our sourcing. Shakeology alone's tested 1,900 times from production to delivery to your door to make sure it is potent, meaning that it has the same amount of camu camu and schizandra and chaga mushroom, that's their standards, and that it's pure, that it doesn't have any artificial contaminants, heavy metals, artificial hormones, pesticides, herbicides, all of that. So that is something that's very important to me, and not a lot of people care about those things or even know to ask those things, but it's something I can stand behind. That we are a company that goes the extra mile, and that is something that I want to shout from the mountaintops because it's very rare in the supplement industry. And then you have, so we've got fitness, nutrition, supplementation, and then you have the last two components that I am really proud of and thankful for that I didn't think I needed. I'll be honest with you. And the first one is mindset. We talk a lot about personal development and mindset growth. And if you have not realized in these last 2 years, that is something we all need extra support in. It is, no one is immune from needing more support in how to develop mental agility. How do we deal with hardship to where it doesn't crumble us? How do we deal with anxiety and depression? That is not something that are isolated to a few people. We all deal with that at one level or another. Someone has experienced some level of anxiety or depression or isolation or fear, especially in these past 2 years. And so we talk a lot about that, and there's a lot of resources of how to integrate how much exercise helps with your endorphins and your confidence, and how much your nutrition. What I love about the gut health protocols, we talk about the gut brain axis. At least I talk a lot about that, and the connection between the two, because there is an absolute scientific connection between your gut health and your mental health. And we're doing something about it. And it is so exciting and it is so fulfilling, because you don't have to have a background in anatomy and physiology to be able to help somebody with that, because the experts have created these programs that you are now sharing as a resource tool with someone who maybe needs that or has that specific need. And then that leads me into the final part of what makes us different, in my opinion, and that is the community. You can know all of these things. How many of you have tried to eat healthy in the midst of a family who does not appreciate broccoli and chicken? It can be so disheartening and so discouraging when you are trying to be little Miss Healthy over here and wake up early and do your workouts, and whether it's your partner or your kids or your family members are just nagging on you and they're hating your challenge, your change, and they're complaining about it, and they're like, why are you doing that? You don't need to lose weight, or you don't need to, that doesn't make a difference. That tastes disgusting. I'm not eating kale. Are you kidding me? The only thing green I eat are Skittles. I literally had somebody tell me that. Yeah. You better believe I accepted that as a challenge. It was my husband's coworker, and he's one of my most consistent Shakeology subscribers now. I will tell you that. But having a positive community around you as you're integrating these lifestyle changes and these new habits, it is not easy to do it on your own. And having people to support you who are doing the same thing is so powerful. I will tell you that pretty much every single coach that I mentor has said they would have quit already if it wasn't for the community. And I say the same thing. If I had joined with anyone, with a lot of other people that I have actually seen who are a part of our company, I don't think I would have made it. And I am honest with you because I know that some people have had really bad experiences, and I'm really sorry for that. This is where we're entrepreneurs, and every coach and every team is going to be a little bit different. But I really love ours. I really love our heart. I really love that we're there to support each other. I love that we all are very real people who have real life challenges. Like, and I will be the first to be honest with you about my own insanity and craziness, but we still push forward together. And so those 5 things we are, to me, are what make us different. It's 100 and what is it right now? $159 to start to get everything. And that's a year of your fitness, unlimited fitness program access with hundreds to choose from. You have lifetime access to our nutrition programs. You get your first month's supply of foundational supplements with Shakeology. You get mental health support and resources, and you get a community. All of that. You pay one time to get all of that and to start your business. And to start your business could be something as simple as how I explained how I got started. Like, hey, mom, sister-in-law, best friend, this is what I'm doing. This is this other chick's results. This is the pack that I ordered. Let's do this together and start on May 16th or whatever. Is that a Monday? Yeah, I nailed it. Let's do that. Let's do that together. And they say, okay, sure. What do I need to do? And then you help them sign up. And we have tools. It's all so plug and play after that. We have all the tools you need to set up a cart for them, and you send them the link, they complete it themselves. As far as if you were to want to take things to the next level and actually build a consistent income with a business, it really comes down to people. It just comes down to networking. It comes down to making friends with people, whether that's on social media, if you decide to do that and use that free platform, or it's off social media and you choose to do it in the workplace. I worked for 2 years building this business on the side before I could build it up to a place of $4,000 a month consistently. That is where I needed it to be in order to walk away from my nursing job. And it took me 2 years of doing that on the side, again, while working full time. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to turn these notifications off. While working full time in prison, and my workplace got really toxic really quick. And I remember saying, okay, God, you still have me here. So I need to help these people, apparently not the inmates, but my coworkers, to clarify. I did. And I was known as the Shakeology Girl who carried around a shaker cup everywhere. And I had carried these containers around for my lunch. And people would ask me, because I was getting results at work. And so people would ask me, wow, how did you get in shape after the baby? You have a specific circle of influence, whether you want to believe it or not. You are influencing them, whether you want to believe it or not. And so you get to decide what kind of influence that is. If it's a positive one, if it's one that just blends in with whatever the opinion of the people are, or if it's a negative one. If you're the person that's complaining all the time and you're the person that's seeing the dark cloud, and the beautiful thing is that you get to choose. You get to choose. We get to choose because we have breath today in our lungs. And hopefully tomorrow we have breath in our lungs. And every day that I wake up, I have an opportunity, no matter what life may throw my way, I get to choose what my perspective is going to be about my life that day and how I'm going to react to it. And those have been the most empowering things that I've learned in my lifetime, of whether it was being blindsided by a divorce or some of our other hard stuff that we've gone through, is that I get to choose what I'm going to do with that. And so I don't want to choose to be a victim. I don't want to choose to live my life in a box just for security and benefits. I want to choose to live life fully. And that takes time sometimes to build up, I've been doing this 6 years, and it took time to build. But if I never would have started with that first $50 check, I wouldn't be where I'm at now, where this has allowed us the freedom to move our family about a year and a half ago from California to North Idaho, which was a dream of ours. And my husband was able to get out of law enforcement. He chose to do that and start his own concrete pumping company. And I just started real estate with my mom. And I'm doing this fully. This job, this coaching job that I now work part-time hours at this time, is fully sustaining my family, because all of these other businesses we have invested into, but they haven't poured out yet. But this job has become my security, when before it was $50 here and there, $20 here and there. Oh, lost money that week. But little by little, with consistency, it did build up, because it was founded on, I see that this has changed my life. I am a better mom, and I'm a better wife. I'm a better person because of these habits that I'm being consistent with. And because I'm experiencing that, naturally, I want to share that with people. And I know other people are struggling in these areas. How many of you know someone who's struggling in their foundational health routine? And in turn, it's creating anxiety, exhaustion, burnout. It's creating maybe even marriage problems. It's creating them to be really short and snappy with their kids. Some parents who can't even run around with their kids because they just don't have the time. They don't have the patience. They don't have the energy. This could change things for them. We live in a time where we have several preventative lifestyle diseases that people are dying from every day, whether that is cancer, heart attacks, strokes, so many things, obesity, type 2 lifestyle diabetes. You have the power with this platform to make a big impact. And not only in like a parent, like a mom, but when you impact a mom, guess what happens to your kids? They start learning how to eat healthier, and their foundation for their entire life is different. And then they have kids. And then because of you reaching out to that one mom on Instagram who then taught her kids, who grew up, and then they're teaching their kids, and you can have a generational impact with this simple platform that you do not have to create from scratch. And that was so attractive to me, I have to say. And that is just a result of you living in your best life, living in your element of what's in alignment for who is the best version of you is. And so I will leave you with that, with what you've heard tonight, or maybe you still have questions. But if this feels like it's in alignment with the best version of who God's created you to be, when you close your eyes and you say, okay, 5 years from now, what does the best version of my life look like? If this could be a vessel to get you there, then I will encourage you to take the next step, whatever that is. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to jump in or be all or nothing. That is not does not exist in my life right now. But just take that next step and see what it looks like. We have on our team a New Coach University. It's hosted on a website where a bunch of us have collaborated to create 10 days worth of simple tasks for you to learn the foundations of how to start this business. And if you learn the foundations and you do it consistently, you will be successful. It's really a blueprint. This month we're doing every other week, we are doing new coach jumpstart calls where you can jump on with other new coaches in the business or people who are restarting their business and ask questions and get to know each other. We have a really amazing community. It's very supportive and wants to see each other succeed. If you sign up with any of the coaches on our team, you will receive their mentorship and my mentorship, and you will never be alone in starting this. So I am going to stop the recording, and those of you who are on, I'm going to let you ask questions. But before I do that, you should have my contact info, or the person who sent you this video. You can email me at thehealthpatriot@gmail.com, find me on Instagram at health_patriot, and I would be happy to answer any questions that you have. Okay, let me figure out how to